Continuing with my One Piece ALK ranking series, this is number 29 through 27. I have my laptop in front of me, that way I can look at my notes and make sure I get every piece of information that shaped my judgment for each ALK into this video. At 29, I have the Whiskey Peak ALK, and it's a short arc, which you'll come to find that the length of the arc really plays a big factor in how I rank them, because like I want a story, like a decently long entertaining story, and you get arcs like Whiskey Peak that are only 4 episodes long, even though we have finally got into the second part of the story, and it's just it doesn't hold up because of the length. But with Whiskey Peak, it's a few other things, such as the characters go against their character. For example, you have Luffy believing that Zoro murdered 100 innocent people, or knocked them out, however you want to believe, with only One Piece logic. And Luffy just immediately falls for that. He thinks Zoro hold all these people for no reason after they fed them, and that just doesn't make sense, because go back to the Along Park arc, and Luffy was not ready to believe at all that Nami betrayed them. So it just didn't make sense when one strange person told Luffy that Zoro massacred over 100 people at Whiskey Peak, and then it was just a bad moment for Luffy. Other things were Nami was out of character again too, to a degree, which if you've seen my reviews on Rainbow Mist, you know I hate that, because once they find out that they're going up against Crocodile, she loses it, and she actually tries to abandon the crew. And, and like after everything they've gone through, it just doesn't seem like something Nami would do, when even after, or even when they're going up against a Warlord. And because think about not just Along Park, but things that happen after that. Like you have the knock-up stream. Like there was a very low chance of them surviving that, but Nami, she was more willing to trust Luffy and go up the knock-up stream, even to a Sky Island that probably didn't even exist, more than she was willing to accompany the crew to escort Vivi back to Alabasta, all because they were going up against Crocodile. Good things to take from this arc is that we have the Miss Wednesday, spoiler alert, is Vivi plot twist. I thought that was funny, because like look at how she treated Karoo to begin with. Like she tried to attack Zoro while riding Karoo and they missed and fell off a building, and she's yelling at Karoo like, "Oh, you stupid duck!" And then once she becomes Vivi again, she's just the most kind-hearted person, especially to Karoo. Zoro taking out the 100 Baroque Rogue agents by himself was a pretty epic scene. You get Igaram sacrificing himself for Vivi. It was just that was just funny. Like it's just, how did he not die from that? I get it's only One Piece logic, but like the ship you were on blew up, and you had no special powers. Like, so I just imagine just Robin was in league with Igaram the whole time, and she put like tape X's on the spot where Igaram was supposed to stand. That way, when the ship blew up, he'd survive. I don't know. Uh, pretty much that's it for Whiskey Peak. Not new the best arc, but okay for the pros that we got. Moving on to 28, we have Romance Dawn. And Romance Dawn, it's a good start to the series. Once again, it's short compared to the rest of it. You get you you learn the the basics of the One Piece universe, like devil fruits, how Luffy became a rubber man. Because before I watched One Piece, I watched a Watch Mojo video. It was like the top 10 strangest powers anime or something like that. And I think Luffy was on it, and it was the clip where Alvida tries to smash him in the head with her club, but he's like, "Sorry, that's not gonna work. I'm rubber." When he shows her how far his lip can stretch, so it was pretty pretty good to get that information in the first episode. Like they didn't try to make it a mystery for us because it didn't need it to be. You get the you find out Luffy wants to be king of the pirates. You find out Kobe wants to be a marine, and somehow they're still able to become friends after that. That was a pretty cool storyline element. Then you move on to Captain Morgan, and you find out how honorable Zoro is. He stood up for the townspeople, even though it meant he was going to be captured and starved. And then you get the awesome first fight where Luffy and Zoro are tag teaming against us enemy foes. You at the end you get the Marines all saluting pirates, and Captain Ripple or Commander Ripple, whatever his name was, he tells the his squad that because they are saluting pirates, they will go 1 week without food, even though that's probably gonna end disastrously for them. But it was this arc had some epic moments, some funny moments, and then we get to the final part of it, which I think was the Shanks flashback, and you find out what molded Luffy into becoming the pirate he is today. You get the that awesome first introduction to hockey, even long before it is ever mouthed by a character. Uh, you get you find out the relationship between Shanks and Luffy, and how vital it is for the series. That's pretty much it off the top of my head. I don't have too much else written down for it. Uh, so moving on to number 27 is the Zoe arc. And for Zoe, it's a cool, epic arc. Unfortunately, the downside to it is that it is a big flashback expositional arc. Like you get the flashback of Jack invading the island and everything he did to it, and the fight between him and the Dog King and the Cat King, and you get the flashback with what happened to Sanji, which okay, that's important, and like the flashbacks themselves are good. It's just they're long, and they take up a good chunk of the arc. And then finally, you get the part where Luffy and Momonosuke tell the elephant to fight back against Jack, and you get that really awesome, epic sequence where the elephant takes its trunk and just basically bitch slaps Jack's fleet into oblivion, and like that's one of my biggest mark out moments for the series. Uh, you get introduced to Carrot, who's a cute bunny girl. Uh, you get introduced to all these cool characters. You even get introduced to the ninja for the first time, and that is like they're all cool characters to get introduced to. But for the most part, we don't get to interact with them all that much. It's just one big flashback expositional arc, and it kind of weighs it down like severely. Like it's number 27 out of 30 main arcs. So because of that, it just doesn't hold up. And so next video we will be moving on to number 26 through whatever number I decide.